So anyway, this video by Candace Owens is called "Women Are Tired of Working 40 Hours a Week." Men, on the other hand, we're chill, but women are tired of it. That's what the title is. Let's go ahead and see what she's going over, and let's see if this is going to be honest or not.
A lot of young women who are now in the workforce, that promised feminist dream, the feminist glory. You're going to love it. You're going to be just like men. Male parity is what we want. We want to work 40 hours a week.
By the way, feminism, to my understanding at least, absolutely never was preaching that, like, women working, that's the best thing ever. That is literally heaven. It was simply that if men are able to go and work and build up a life for themselves, women should be able to also. No one said working is going to be the best thing ever, but you know what? Being able to make your own life is pretty good. And it wasn't fair that women were deprived of that opportunity, whereas men weren't.
Yeah, they're kind of figuring out that that's not really that great. You're not making that much money. You're working a lot of hours. You don't have that much time for yourself. And they are sharing their feelings with the internet because that's what you're supposed to do on TikTok. You're supposed to trauma dump, and she is dumping some of this trauma, but I'm glad she is. Take a listen to this young woman.
Why is it that I have to work 40 hours a week just so I can have a place to live? So I work 40 hours a week so I can
So
have
instantly, you know what I'm going to say, right? About Candace Owens' dishonesty. This clip immediately that she's playing, you can tell is about the current economy and how frustrating it is that wages have not adequately kept up with inflation, and how our great-grandparents used to buy a house for $50 after getting a college degree for $12. Now all of that's changed. She's literally complaining, yes, about the price of living. This is a problem with the overall economy. This is a problem affecting everybody.
a 2-bedroom apartment and an extra $300 a month. So not only do I not have any extra money, but just working makes me so exhausted. And I don't want to do that anymore, right? Like, I don't care how poor and miserable I would have to be, but I literally can't have a place to live without this, you know? Like, I don't know what to do. I'm not made for this.
Yeah, you know,
So I feel like Candace is going to totally misinterpret the part where she says, "I'm not made for this." Anybody could be saying that, meaning that they're not made to be working so much to not see the fruits of their labor, to not feel like they can adequately afford the cost of living. I don't feel like I'm made for this. This is not her saying it's because she's a woman or some shit.
yeah, you know, a lot of people are making fun of her, but I feel her. I feel like we should answer her question. She is asking why, right? Why is this the circumstance? Well, the answer,
Feminism.
sweetheart, is because big, bold, bad feminists came before you and insisted that women could be just like men. You know, we obviously are not just like men. We are different entirely from men, right? We are symbiotic with men, but our roles in life are not meant.
Again, she's misinterpreting feminists' arguments. Feminism is not that women and men are exactly the same. That's not what it is. But it's that society should be treating them the same as far as what they are allowed to do, what their rights are. If they are able to participate, or if men, excuse me, are able to participate in the workforce, so should women. Women should be able to also. This isn't because men and women are exactly the same. Women and men might gravitate towards different jobs. However, they should still have equal rights to those opportunities and to the choices that they want to make.
But our roles in life are not meant to be the same. And I'm speaking strictly biologically. Men are wired different than women.
You realize that if we want to talk about biology, what do these people talk about a lot? What do these conservative types talk about a lot? Isn't it about how the men were the hunters and the women were the gatherers? Well, you know what gathering took? You know that in order to be a quote-unquote gatherer at the time, this was not just like, go outside and pick a flower. No, this was like grueling work in the garden, gathering food and nutrients from trees and plants and whatnot. That was work. So even if you want to go back to some biological thing, which is stupid, by the way, obviously applying some biology thing to women don't want to work, men do because of biology is so unbelievably stupid. But even if you wanted to take it that route, your own biological argument contradicts that.
Feminists came around and they kind of transgendered people in the mind. They brainwashed women into believing that they could be just like men. Here, take a birth control pill. You won't get pregnant. You can instead go to work, right? Work just alongside your male counterparts. And women are realizing that despite this dream that's sold to you, despite being propagandized in the school system, it's going to be so great. This is about freedom.
She's just lying. Who is saying this? It's about freedom to make your own choices and pursue your own opportunities. It's not that having a job is going to give you freedom and ultimate purpose.
That actually women are kind of miserable. That maybe Mother Nature had some things right. Maybe just the ability to be able to have children, to be able to feed children naturally from your body.
What do women, when they're taking care of the home and taking care of kids, what would you generally define that as, Candace? Work. You f***ing idiot. I don't even know where to go from this. Like, okay, so because women have the potential to have babies, that means they shouldn't be working? I don't understand. Oh yeah, also, I wanted to address that also. The women are kind of miserable. People are miserable nowadays. Unhappiness rates across the board are going up, Candace. Something is clearly wrong here. And Candace, I hate to break it to you, what is wrong is not because women have rights.
To be able to feed children naturally from your body, it means, call me crazy, that you might be more naturally inclined to raise children.
This is literally false. If you look at female caregivers, for example, they have way higher rates of depression, neglecting their own health, loneliness, sadness, and all kinds of other issues. They report more unhappiness when they are in caregiving positions, Candace. Stay-at-home moms have really high rates of depression. What if someone's born, okay, what if you have a woman born and she doesn't have a uterus, okay? So she can never have kids. What's her natural inclination now? Is it maybe to just go off to work after all? Let me pull up my research here so that I can further explain how Candace is a liar. My research, haha. Women can be great nurturers, but so can men. The evidence available suggests that regardless of a natural inclination, expecting women to act as caregivers contributes to more stress. Record high 56% of US women prefer working to homemaking. Given the choice between working or staying home to take care of the house and family, a record high 66% of US adults would prefer to work, while women's preference to work outside the home, 56%, continues to lag behind men's. It's the highest point in roughly 3 decades. Women want to work despite workforce precarity. In America, women are now just as likely as men to report working because they want to, not because they must. An analysis by Bowling Green State University found that female and adult child caregivers generally reported having more negative experiences than male and spouse caregivers, with wife caregivers least likely to report positive experiences. And so I go into a little bit of the compassion side of things as well. I think that sometimes women are perceived as being more naturally nurturers because women tend to exhibit more compassion, especially the way that we sort of conceptualize compassion. So one reason we might think that women are more compassionate than men is that we think of compassion in only one way: nurturing, kindness, softness, gentleness, and emotional warmth. We think of compassion in what we would then also consider more feminized. However, expressions of deep compassion are not always nurturing or maternal. Think about, for example, the heroic acts that happen daily in which people throw themselves into dangerous situations to help others. These are fierce, courageous, and even aggressive forms of compassion. So rather than suggesting that women are more compassionate than men, I would argue that they can differ in their expression of compassion. Essentializing women as natural caregivers hurts men as well. How many times have we heard complaints about men being screwed over during divorce, particularly in regards to who gains custody of the children and child support? This is rooted in the essentializing ideals that women are just naturally caregivers. So those are just a couple things to keep into consideration, that even if there was some biological predisposition for women to be more nurturing or something, expecting like that's what they should be doing only causes harm. You're just forcing people into a box that they might not want to fit into. And by the way, if this many people are saying that they want to work and the numbers are this back and forth, then you're stupid to think that this is just some natural thing. It's way too subjective.